Starlink Global Roaming is now available on sea and land. Hi, I'm Jeremy from Mobile Internet Gateway. Starlink, the internet satellite service provider, has recently announced that it's rebranding its plans and prices alongside unveiling new capacity upgrades. This move is expected to offer more affordable broadband services to some, with most getting a price hike. The announcement of new plans and enhanced network capabilities is great news to many, as they can now get more value for their money if they travel worldwide. Starlink is growing their constellation. SpaceX launched the first 21 of the V2 mini satellites that will be used in the constellation of Starlink satellites. V2 mini satellite technology allows for higher data rates by using more powerful phase array antennas and by using E-band to backhaul data to ground stations. Customers will be able to use more bandwidth for their service uplinks when enough of the V2 minis are deployed. Starlink updates its global maritime service. As of the second quarter of 2022, Starlink announced that they would offer global maritime coverage worldwide, covering a vast majority of the oceans and seas on the Earth through Starlink Maritime Service. Starlink Maritime, despite its name, was not global coverage at launch, but with this new announcement has extended its coverage anywhere in the world. There is a legal catch to this, though, as global coverage requires approval from a country's government. As a nation's airspace is extended to its maritime borders, and some countries limit SpaceX in their borders. In order for SpaceX to keep compliant with different nations' regulatory compliance, they have, for now, intentionally limited where you can order maritime service from Starlink. For a complete list of countries, please see our full-length article in the description below. Starlink begins testing on flights in the USA, not waiting for the major airlines to join their test program. Starlink has begun testing in-flight internet access on planes in the USA. Starlink announced a new service tier called Global Roaming. Starlink Global Roaming Service is a similar service that provides connectivity to every nation worldwide with the same exact satellites that previously provided service in select nations. To that end, Starlink is now offering nomads a brand new service called Starlink Global Roaming Service, which promises to connect them to any place in the world, anytime, night or day. The Global Roaming Service is built based on the same hardware that is required for Starlink Residential and Starlink for RV owners. It costs $599 to buy the dish, but it costs just $200 for a month of unlimited data. In a recent filing with the FCC, Starlink let it slip that it is working on a new mini and high-power Starlink dish. The new mini is about the size of a 13-inch MacBook Air. The Mini is also expected to have a smaller view of the sky and less antenna in the hardware, limiting its speed in both directions in exchange for portability. The new high-power dish is much larger than the current high-power dish. The high-power dish is expected to have a much more robust antenna array and will cost more than the present high-power dish's price of $2,500. For more details about all the new hardware, please visit our site, mobileinternetgateway.com. It is exciting to see how quickly Starlink solutions are evolving to appeal to more people than at any time in the past. As Starlink expands on its 21 Starlink V2 mini satellites in orbit, it should start to help solve some of the existing capacity issues with Starlink. With more satellites orbiting the Earth, it is much more likely that one will pass overhead and not near the horizon, making having a large viewport less necessary. Starlink will expand its satellite constellation significantly and is setting aggressive launch schedules for future satellites. This will enable more coverage and more capacity, and will provide a much broader set of services. As always, it's best to wait to learn how these new plans and new hardware perform with real-world data before signing up. For more like this, please consider subscribing to Mobile Internet Gateway. Also, for the latest mobile internet news, visit mobileinternetgateway.com.